Good evening, everyone. Good evening.
Good evening.
Can we get, maybe close the door? Good evening, everyone. I would like to call this meeting to order. Today is the regular city council meeting, November 14th at 3:34 p.m. It's the city of Rialto. 6:34. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. 6:34 p.m. City Council, City of Rialto acting as the successor agency to Redevelopment Agency, the Rialto Utility Authority, the Rialto Housing Authority, and the Rialto Financing Authority. Madam City Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor Robertson.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Carrie Sellers.
Present.
Councilmember Baca.
Present.
Councilmember Trujillo.
Present.
Councilmember Scott.
Present.
City Attorney Eric Vell.
Present.
Assistant City Manager Aaron Brown.
Present.
And Madam Mayor, like I stated earlier, City Treasurer is absent due to his brother passing, so he's in Arizona.
All right, thank you. Now, if I could ask everyone to please stand and join Mayor Pro Tem Andy Carrizales in the Pledge of Allegiance, and then remain standing for the invocation by Pastor Victor Lopez for Calvary Chapel, Rialto.
Right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, you are magnificent, and great is thy name, Lord, in all of the earth. We thank you, Lord, for this little spot in Rialto. What a beautiful city, Lord. We know that you have truly blessed it. And Lord, we pray for the items on the agenda tonight, Lord. I pray that you would be honored, that you would give our leadership, Lord, tremendous wisdom, Lord, that you would use all of their education and all the resources that you've given them, Lord, to just move forward and continue conducting business of the city, Lord. We thank you for all the men and women in uniform, Lord. I see several of them tonight. We thank you for their service, Lord, to this city, Lord, and the surrounding area. I pray that you would bless our remaining time, that, Lord, we would come to resolutions that will please you, that would be fair, Lord, that will allow us, Lord, to continue on the way to doing what is right for your people before your eyes. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Now I could ask if our city attorney would like to report out on closed session.
I'll be happy to do that, Mayor. We had three primary items on the agenda tonight. First was a public employee performance evaluation. Position was interim/acting city manager. Council did complete that item. We also had conference with labor negotiator. Your council met with your labor negotiators. You completed that item. There's no reportable action. And finally, we had a conference with legal counsel with regard to three items of existing litigation. The agenda says two. There was a third item which the council added as an item of subsequent need pursuant to the Brown Act, and that was the Hernandez-Lopez versus City of Rialto item. We completed that item. The second case on was INRI Aqueous Forming Foam Products Liability Litigation. Sorry, that's a mouthful. You gave direction to the city attorney. There was no other reportable action on that. And then finally, we do have one case which will be held over until the end. That's Robertson versus City of Rialto. Mayor, you're recusing yourself from that item. We'll put that on the record. And that's the end of my report. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, we have this evening a number of presentations and proclamations, and my colleagues will present some of them, and I will present some as well. A couple of them that are on the agenda, and there was a couple that were not on the agenda added. So I'm going to ask that perhaps that I will find out. I have Mrs. Patricia Woods, if she's here this evening. I don't know if Ms. Woods was able to make it. I don't see her, all right. And then I have also a presentation for Ms. Woods. We'll make sure, I think we'll take it out to Humex. I have one that, also a presentation that was really for an event, an activity that happened in August, and it was Never Give Up. And so I believe that Ms. Farah Muhammad is here. And then also, I don't know if the family for Mr. Lewis Joseph Pimentel, is he in the audience? All right. Then I have one last for my check presentation, and that is for when we had an opening of our, what do they call it? Opening of the shopping center, the Rialto Village, and our developer was kind enough to provide sponsorships to various groups, and I did not have a chance to give the presentation to the group that I had nominated, and I would like to make that presentation. So I will come down and make the presentation for Ms. Farah Muhammad, and also for the Young Marines of San Bernardino Valley. And then I will turn it over to Councilmember Trujillo. I believe you have the other presentations, all right? Thank you.
Those young Marines just celebrated a birthday, Mayor. November 10, 1775.
All right. Thank you very much. You know that? So if I could ask the group for, and I will quickly. The month of August has become a national recognition of trying, come on in, to acknowledge a national movement of never giving up. And we had planned on trying to hold a various event in our community in August to recognize and become one of the cities as well. I think that it still was under 50 cities nationwide. But I felt, without having an activity, looking at someone in an organization that has never given up, and also recognizing a legacy of Abdi Muhammad, who originally started Abdi Foundation and Smile America. It was Farah's brother, and then he was tragically lost his life in an accident. But she kept going. And she picked up the baton and kept the organization going. And I felt this was appropriate way to acknowledge in Rialto our Never Give Up, which is a global celebration focused on cultivating a mindset of determination and healthy drive to achieve goals. So it's with that, I would just like to read a brief of it, is that acknowledging the legacy of Abdi Muhammad contributed through the community. Abdi was an American refugee from Somalia, which embedded him with a deep appreciation for the generosity that guided his family's journey to the United States. He led by example, fostering a culture of giving back and sharing blessings with everyone. His legacy serves as a beacon of hope, particularly for the minority young men, encouraging them never to surrender their dreams or their community. So tonight, we would like to recognize Abdi Muhammad's exceptional contributions, unwavering dedication, and profound impact on our community, and we extend our deepest gratitude and heartfelt appreciation to Farah Muhammad for continuing his legacy with Smile America and never giving up. So would you be so kind as to accept that? Yes. Thank you. Is there any comment you'd like to make with regard to?
Thank you, everyone. My brother, he mentored the kids after school to keep them away from the gangs, including me. I am where I am, finishing school, going through grad school, all of that because of my brother. He believed that all of us can do something small or big, never giving up. knowing from a family of refugee where our parents were working nonstop and refused to take any, support from the government, but to work hard, we as a kids were left alone. So he tutored me, and he found in the community, the kids in our community were not going to school, were getting dropped off, were getting in trouble. So he made his mission, and he made his own personal reason to mentor those kids after school. And by the time I was ready to graduate high school, 18 of my classmates who dropped out of freshman were there to graduate with me, all because of my brother. So that's why I will never give up, and I will always keep his dream going. And all of us can do, big or small, all of us can do something.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Farah. Thank you. And yes, I must admit, she's definitely always trying to do whatever she can in our community, giving out weekly to the homeless, assisting, and then also any food drives and backpacks and things. The other one that I wanted to present was, as I said, when we opened the Rialto Village Market, which now is like the third shopping area that we have opened in our city, and maybe there's a few more, the developer had asked us to donate or make a recommendation of who we should provide money to that they would in turn give to that organization. And my colleagues, they all made their recommendations. And I know that we looked at our schools and then also at our law enforcement. But I also know that there's a group that is always, we can call upon them, they're youth, and they are, and especially this time, I wanted to, even though they did receive the money, and I'd asked you if you'd come on up, they got the check, but I wanted to take the time to publicly acknowledge the group that I had requested or suggested give the donation. And given the situation that we're in right now, in this global conflict or situation, and that we just finished honoring Veterans Day on Saturday, it's one thing when you've served or you're in the military, but I thought it's really an honor to come on up, guys, and recognize the young Marines of San Bernardino Valley, which include residents of our community in Rialto. And we gave a sponsorship, and I nominated the young Marines of San Bernardino Valley to receive $2,500 to help support their efforts. And I just would love to say, you guys know them, you've seen them, and this is the future. And the fact that they are training and they're looking forward to continue to go forward and serve. And so it's with a pleasure and an honor that I made the donation recommendation that $2,500 be given to their organization. So would you please, hoorah, would you come on up? And if I'm not mistaken, they had some kind of competition, and I just want you, if this one that did kind of won all of the, a lot of the agility activities, I will say. It was quite impressive, and also one of the other members. So I would ask Kathy, would you please come up so that we could also get the picture, and you as well. And know that I really have appreciated the discipline that I've observed of this organization and their willingness to be ready to go forward when they get old enough to serve and represent and support our country. So thank you for what you guys do, and thank you for what you're going to do. And thank you, Ms. Lopez. Thank you, Kathy. All right, thank you guys. Thank you. You're welcome. You did this. Check. You have it. Okay, Councilmember Trujillo.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, my colleagues here on the City Council, as well as our residents here that are with us today and on TV. Just wanted to, it's always an honor to be here every year to annually recognize this group of hard workers in our community who dedicate their lives to take care of others. So this every November is National Family Caregivers Month, and so I wanted to bring up Juan Carlos Garcia or his group up here. It gives me a pleasure. It's I'm going to read this resolution, but again, it's in honor of all their hard work in our community, helping individuals in our community, live independently, even in times of difficulties like the pandemic we just went through. So let me read this resolution. It says, Resolution of Appreciation, number 2 out of Series 2023. Whereas 1,950 in-home support services workers who reside in the city of Rialto deliver quality care to close to over 2,000 of our most valuable residents, including seniors and adults and children with disabilities. And whereas IHSS providers allow the county's low-income seniors and people with disabilities to receive quality care in the comfort of their own home by people they trust instead of being sent to an institution, giving consumers an opportunity to stay in the communities they know and love. And whereas the selfless work of home care workers often goes unnoticed, and the financial struggles caregivers and their families experience due to increased rents, cost of living, and inflation further increase the dire need for livable wages in San Bernardino County. Whereas the frontline essential work that IHSS workers provided and continue to provide during COVID pandemic while earning close to a minimum wage, with many not having access to affordable health care. Whereas the number of family and non-family members requiring in-home care work will increase in San Bernardino County as our population of those 60 years and older doubles to over 550,000 by 2030. And whereas providing home care workers with a livable wage will generate demands for goods and services in the local economy, stimulate employment opportunities, and create additional income. Now, therefore, I, Deborah Robertson, Mayor of the City of Rialto, along with the City Council members, do hereby resolve that the city officially recognizes and applauds the home care workers and the seniors and the people with disabilities who rely on this vital care, acknowledging the essential work and contributions they bring to San Bernardino County by officially proclaiming November as Family Caregivers Month, and is signed by our mayor as well as our city clerk, and all of us here are in support of it. So thank you so much. Would you like to see a few words?
Thank you.
On your meeting, members?
Councilmember, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Trujillo, Mayor. Councilmember Bach also has a long history of supporting long-term care workers, the entire city council. This is, again, like I mentioned last year, I feel like it's becoming a really nice tradition. I think this is like at least the 4th year we've been coming here, where you're one of the few cities that proactively recognizes the service that these workers provide in the community, which is home care. Through the IHSS system, the County In-Home Support Service System. And yeah, like Councilmember Trujillo mentioned, we represent 1,950 caregivers just in the city of Rialto. These are some of them here. So they're the union. I'm a staff of the union, but the workers are the union. And I'd like to allow Beatriz, she lives in Rialto, wants to say a few words, and a couple of them if you don't mind.
Go ahead. Thank you.
My name's Beatriz Natividad, and I've been working for IHSS for about 6 years. I did a early retirement from Kaiser and to take care of my mom and my aunt. My aunt is on stage 5 kidney failure, and since I'm familiar with the medical, I make sure they're comfortable, and it's a lot of work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll translate for Ms. Gracias.
Mi nombre es Eufrasia de la Paz. Yo cuido a mi hijo de ataques epilépticos y tiene problemas de aprendizaje y para entender, él no entiende, no comprende nada. y yo tengo que facilitarle todos los alimentos porque él no puede tragar bien. Y
I care for my son who suffers from seizures, epileptic seizures, behavioral disabilities, and he has trouble eating as well. It's a very tough work.
él ha tenido muchos problemas en la escuela para aprender, para entender, y pues necesita mucho trabajo, y él las noches, en el día, le dan los ataques, y pues con este reconocimiento nos da valentía, nos dan más fuerza para seguir adelante con ellos. Muchas gracias.
Yes, he has a lot of issues at school because of his behavioral problems. It's been a challenge. He has seizures during the day, during the night. It's a constant challenge, tiring, but recognitions like these really motivate us, and it helps push us to keep moving forward. Thank you very much. And then lastly, Isabel, you want to close this?
Hola, buenas noches. Muchas gracias a cada uno de ustedes, especialmente al concejal Rafael Trujillo, por tomarnos en cuenta y cada año ser más reconocidos. Estoy al cuidado en 2 condados, Riverside y San Bernardino, de personas que no son mi familia. Todos necesitamos mejor calidad de vida. Actualmente el número de años que vivimos es más, pero cada día perdemos salud. Por lo tanto, necesitamos poner más enfoque en esta área.
Yeah. My name is Isabel Bryan. I'm a caregiver both in San Bernardino and Riverside counties. I provide care for non-relative clients, and I could see that every year it looks like the senior population is growing. There's more need for home care workers. So this is an important topic here.
Una de las cosas más importantes es que los salarios no están al nivel que requerimos. En mi caso, tengo que tener 2 trabajos más para poder compensar y tener el dinero que necesito para poder sostener mi familia. Y eso que solo tengo una hija. Entonces, se me hace muy importante que ustedes cada año estén reconocimiento cada día más y estén aprobando salarios un poco más altos para poder competir con otros negocios, lo cual nos va a ayudar a dar mejor calidad de vida a cada ser humano.
Yeah, so I just want to highlight the need for livable wages. I personally have to have 2 other jobs to help provide, and I'm a single mother. I only have 1 daughter, but it's challenging with the wages, so we need you to continue to support us making livable wages. Yeah, and just to summarize, the IHSS program, as you know, or might know, we bargain. It's a county program. We bargain with the county, not with the city. But it helps when the local communities recognize the service, because there's countywide there's over 32,000 IHSS providers just in San Bernardino County. It's probably just as large or bigger than the logistics workers, the warehouse workers, than fast food workers, but they go unnoticed. They're unappreciated because the work they do are in people's homes, right? So it's a huge workforce, and it's a huge investment into the community whenever we raise their wages. So we know this council has been supportive, and we want to appreciate you, especially now that the senior population is growing. So thank you so much, and thank you, Councilmember Trujillo, again for helping to put this together.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Gracias otra vez.
Okay. I believe, have they arrived?
No, not yet. So if we can just maybe at another time later.
Okay, did you have another one under there? Yeah, the second one.
No, that's the
Say
same,
both
yeah.
together, okay. Okay. They're in the lobby?
They're going to be coming.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Do you want to start off? Or?
So, yes, Madam Mayor, members of the council, Thaddeus Madian, he's not here, but we're going to read the certificate of appreciation anyway. It says, in appreciation of your dedication to military, it is with honor and pride that we salute you for the patriotic spirit you continue to display as a military veteran of our great nation. And I just personally want to thank and appreciate all the veterans that are here today and all the veterans that celebrated on Saturday. So with that, I'll turn it over to...
Thank you.
Oh, I believe he's...
Oh, that's great.
Is that...
So, again, we also want to recognize... Hi. I'm Councilmember Rafael Trujillo. Want to welcome you to our City Council. We wanted to present this spectacular...
Something happened to my hearing aids and they have not been repaired. And in the meantime, I almost literally have to ask you to holler at me.
So,
I can barely hear
so
otherwise.
Fred, we wanted to thank you.
Don't hesitate to raise your voice.
Okay.
All right. We wanted to thank you. We wanted to thank you for your service here at the City Council.
We wanted to thank you for
Your service.
as a veteran, but he'll continue to read off the rest of it. We just want to appreciate, we wanted to appreciate you as a veteran, and so that's why we brought you in here to the city.
Closer.
Yes. Oh, there you go.
Great, thank you. So we have this great recognition for you.
Some kind of an honor.
Thank you.
Yes.
And I appreciate
Thank you.
There you go.
And again, we're honored to have you here today to recognize your service.
We're honored to have you here today.
Thank you, and it's an honor and a pleasure to be here.
So I'm going to read this, and it's an amazing story that you have here. It says, Fred Fairbanks was born on May 15, 1921, on a small farm in Topeka, Kansas. He is the youngest of 5 children. In 1968, with his first wife and 2 children at the time, to live with his mother. His mother encouraged him to go to college, which he did, and began his education. He graduated from the University of Berkeley. When the school was all over with, he was an engineer. Fred had many jobs and did many projects throughout his life. He's been to many different states, countries, met many people throughout his life. He can remember where he met them and what they talked about or how they were connected. Fred came to Rialto post-acute on January 8th, 2021, and celebrated his 100th birthday. Now at 102 years old, he still likes to be up in his chair and strolls around the facility and likes to sit in the dining room, hallways, or outdoors, socializing with his peers. He also likes to sit in the sun as well. He attends group activities of choice. He likes to read and has different books his family sends to him to read, like the Bible. He loves to do karaoke and listen to Latin and classical music. Fred is always willing to chat with you. So if you have time and love talking about the golden days, Fred is a perfect person to chat with. So we wanted to give you this resolution signed by our Mayor, Deborah Robertson, all of us on the council, including Andy Carzales, Mayor Pro Tem, myself, Rafael Trujillo, Ed Scott, and Joe Baca. So I wanted to present this to you in honor of Veterans Day this past weekend.
I have never in my life been honored like this. I have been in all kinds of crazy situations and places that it would make your hair turn white just to think about them. And
I'm gonna get him. Yeah, just for
this is going to be one of them, obviously. I want to thank all of you good people.
okay.
I don't know where to start. It's not true. I do know where to start. Now, this will take a couple of minutes. But eventually, I went to work in the hard rock gold mines in Cripple Creek, Colorado. Of course, I was a little bit underage when I did it, but it still worked. And the one thing I can tell you is this. I was working in a mine 12,000 feet deep underground. And I was doing my work, no problem, but I got tired. And I sat down on a great big rock that was laying there beside me. And I sat down on that rock to rest. I'm the only man down there. I'm the only person down there that I know of. But it didn't turn out like that. After I sat there and rested a couple of minutes, this man came up and sat down beside me. I said, well, wait a minute, there's nobody supposed to be down here except me. And so I looked at him and I said, who are you? And he looked back and he said, Fred, he said, I'm God. I had come face to face with the God that I believe in. And God gave me words, very kindly words. And we sat there and visited for, I don't know how long. But the point is this. God is in the life of every one of us. That's right. That's right. And don't ever forget it for a minute. Right. You may not think that God is in your life, but God is there.
Amen. It's true.
Amen to that.
And you've got to take that into account always and always, always, always.
Amen. Amen to that. Thank you, Fred. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem, excuse me, Mayor Pro Tem, Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes.
You do, yeah, you know you
Yes,
have those. Thank you.
I wanted to recognize also school board member Evelyn Dominguez for caring for him and for also bringing him and that great story that he told. So thank you so much. And it looks like we also have some recognition from the county supervisor.
Way to go, Fred! God has been so good to me. We could sit here for a day, 2 days, and just talk about the things that have happened to me. all because of the greatness of the God that I believe in. And I want you all to believe in the same God and don't make any questions about it. Just believe.
Good evening,
Don't argue.
everyone.
Just believe.
All right, we love you, Fred.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Marlandra Johnson. I'm a field representative from Supervisor Joe Baca Jr.'s office, and I do have a certificate to present to Mr. Fairbanks. So on behalf of Supervisor Joe Baca Jr. in the 5th District in the County of San Bernardino, I join the City of Rialto in honoring and expressing our deep gratitude for your remarkable commitment and sacrifice in defending the principles of freedom, liberty, and democracy. Your unwavering courage, resilience, and devotion.
Turn every which way.
Your unwavering courage, resilience, and devotion to duty have played an instrumental role safeguarding the values that our great nation holds dear. Thank you for all that you've done.
Thank you, Fred. Paperwork, brother. Homework.
You people don't know it.
Right here, Fred.
One more, let's do it again. Oh, yeah, thank you.
What you do, what I'll tell you from an engineering point of view is this.
And now we have a certificate from the assembly member as well.
Good stuff.
Hi, good evening. My name is Evelyn Dominguez. Unfortunately, our Assembly member James Ramos was not able to be here, but he wanted to give a certificate of recognition to Fred Fairbanks for Veterans Day and for his service to our country and also for being a resident of Rialto. So, Fred, this is for you from our Assembly member. Right. This is for you.
One more certificate, Fred.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Evelyn, if you want to come back.
Is there another one?
All right, so let's see. We also want to thank the Rialto Post Acute Center for supporting our military veterans there at their facility and taking care of them. So we have a nice little certificate for you as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we get a picture for this one real quick? I know.
Okay.
I know.
Thank you very much, ladies.
Yeah. This is absolutely beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
No, I got something to say to all of you.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Madam Mayor, point of personal privilege if I can.
Go right. Councilmember Joe Baca Sr. I think the audience is leaving.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. If I can, I know that we celebrated Veterans Day on Saturday. I'd like the city of Rialto here today for all those individuals that are veterans to please stand up today and be recognized. Thank you very much for your service. Thank you, Madam Mayor. And if I can, I have one other one. On December 1st is Faye Coates' birthday. She'll turn 93. And for those individuals that know her, she was the opera singer for the city of Rialto for many, many years. We should recognize her not only for her birthday, but also being an opera singer, and probably the only African-American opera singer that has performed for the city of Rialto for numerous years. Congratulations, Faye Coates, and happy birthday.
All right. All right, thank you. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that pretty much will conclude presentations. I do have one for a gentleman who unfortunately did pass, and he also was a Korean War veteran, so I'm sure that the family, they will be here at our next council member to receive that. Okay, so with that, I think we've covered presentations. Now we will move into oral communications, if you have some.
We have a first speaker, Patrick Taylor.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Patrick Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
I visited your city last February. On my way here, I was only coming here because I got diabetes. Okay, so in the past year, there's been a real serious thing with the Ozempic and diabetes. People have discovered you can lose up to 200 pounds on certain doses of diabetes medication. So diabetes medication has been scarce everywhere. So I had a problem with my Walmart prescription. I'm in Los Angeles, and my Walmart prescription was diverted to a Rialto Walmart. So I had a choice of getting it that day or the diabetes throwing me into a loop. So I chose to drive out here to pick up my prescription. And in the process of driving out here to pick up my prescription, maybe I was kind of upset. Maybe I had some other things in my day going on. But I just drove from Los Angeles to Rialto to pick up my prescription.
Turn it on. Thank you.
My voice is loud, so mic or not, you're going to hear me. So I got off the freeway, and I was coming down one of your streets, and there was a traffic accident on the side of the street. It was a four-way stop sign. I stopped at the stop sign. There was a car on the side of me making a left. That car looked at me like he's gesturing, are you going to go? Because I'm going to go with you. The two cars crossed, and then me and that car proceeded to the intersection. Another car from the side almost sideswiped me, so I was blowing my horn. There was an officer standing on the side of the street dealing with the traffic accident. He motioned and yelled at me something, so I pulled over to find out what he was saying to me. At that time, it was the Walmart right on the side. Now, I should have chose to go into Walmart, but I did not know what he was saying, and I did not want him to say I was fleeing away from him. So I got out the car, turned my car off, and proceeded over to him, and he told me that I was blowing my horn. I yelled back at him, did you see the car who almost sideswiped me? He started to come over to tell me something about the horn. Another officer pulled up and got behind my car and turned his lights on. My car was sitting there and it was off. This officer came over to the side of me while I was talking to the other officer. And as I'm explaining to him the reason why I was blowing my horn, the officer tapped me on the side of my shoulder. Now, I am a diabetic. I do not allow people to touch me because I don't want COVID. So I asked him, what is he touching me for? He told me to turn around and sit on the curb. I told him no. Then he told me turn around, I was going to be arrested. I told him okay. I turned around, he arrested me. I have a First Amendment right to address my grievance to the government. He is part of the government. So why can he arrest me for telling him no, not to sit on the curb when I did nothing wrong? Whether he had a traffic stop or not. If he did have a traffic stop, he only had a traffic stop on an empty vehicle, which I found out now was a no parking zone. Yes, he could have gave me a ticket for no parking or towed my car. I should not have been arrested. Once I got in the car, he went and searched my car, some other things happened, and then he came over to the window. I asked him why I was being arrested. He told me for being an asshole. I said, oh, you saying that on your body cam? He said, my body cam is off. I said, okay, but you got dash cam, I'm looking at the light. I've been asking the city to release this body cam footage and the situation of what happened. I should not have been arrested that day. I was arrested for interfering with a police officer. Interference is physical. I never went up to the scene of the crime to be interfering. I found out that my car was towed because I was arrested. If I was out the car was off, to the minimum my car should have got a ticket and stayed there because the car was turned off. So I'm coming to the city to state to you that today, when you started this meeting, you looked at that flag and you said, justice for all. I'm asking for justice. Whether you're going to give it to me or not, it's okay. But like I told that officer on the way to the police station, I hope your conscience lets you sleep tonight after you hear the story. There's no way anybody should be arrested under them circumstances. Thank you.
Is there any other oral
Yes,
communications?
The next speaker is George Malario.
George
Hey, good evening, council members. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to express my concern. I live at 1049 East Margarita Road here in Rialto. I've been here for many, many years. It's been so long. We used to have orange trees right west of baseline there. That's a long time. Anyway, my concern is that we have a towing company that apparently wants to build right next to residential areas. And 3 months ago, they moved in, they drove in a trailer, and they started moving things around the property. And we called code enforcement, and they looked into it, and they stopped the project. So 2 days ago, they have delivered about maybe 10, 15 truckloads of crushed cement. And our neighbor asked him, what are they doing? Well, they're going to build a retainer wall. And it just come out of nowhere where they're going to build the towing company there. And it's going to get more excess noise, pollution, as it is. It's on Pepper and Baseline in that area. So we'd like to know if you can look into their matter and maybe help us out.
All right.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Well, Captain Bagan will be there to assist you. I believe he's in the back.
Okay.
Okay, he's
Okay.
right behind you.
All right.
All right, thank you. I was trying to see.
Next person we have is Charles and Zona Herrera.
Todd.
Charles.
Good evening, Council. My name is Reverend Charles Harrell. I live at 1059 East Margarita Road. Let's put it like this. About 3 years ago, my wife and I sought to buy our house, and we scoped out this house in a cul-de-sac, got more land than our neighbors. We got the lion's share of the land. But, I mean, there's all kind of things going on with when we met the lady that lived there. She's been there forever. Her name was Armella. She literally showed me pictures of Rosa Parks getting married in that house. So fast forward to up now. I'm here to talk about the same thing. My house is the one that butts up against this property where the guy is going to build a tow yard. I've had conversations with him. Told him, I says, hey, we're not really for this. This is my wife. We don't really want this, and we know it's a residential area. You see, I'm a traffic officer in LA. I happen to work, cross paths with this gentleman with his tow yard in LA. And I know the unsavory characters that come around tow yards and things like that. Just the other day, this is the young lady that George was referring to that asked them what they were doing. and one of his workers that was there got a little irate with my wife. I'm all the way in LA. That was what I explained to him that I did not want to see. I did not want the characters that would be there. One day I look up in my backyard or right over my wall, and there's a motorhome sitting there. Motorhome sitting there with no running toilet, no running water, no none of this. I thought a homeless encampment was about to start. So that's where we got code enforcement involved with it. So when code enforcement got involved with it, this was the security guard for the lot. But he was, like I said, he had to go to the restroom somewhere. And all of that was screwing out around this trailer and motorhome. So we got that out. It seems as though the gentleman has gotten a nod to go ahead. He thinks that he can just press through and build this tow yard behind our house. The view, we have pictures of it. We bought the house for the history, historical value, and for the view. The view is amazing. The view is awesome. Not with a bunch of red cars behind my house, though. So I would appreciate it, we would appreciate it, our neighbors would appreciate it if that we would look into this and halt this project. I mean, I'm going so far as to say do not issue permits for this project, please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Sergeant Paul Bergman, he's in the back.
All right. We'll speak with Sergeant Palmer will speak with you as well. All right.
I'm not sure if this is oral communication form or they're trying to speak on tab 1 or not. Local 433 Iron Workers.
Not in our, might not be it.
We're gonna speak on the Rialto Police Department project.
Okay, then that's tab 1 because it's not on here.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
This area right here.
And I'm assuming the Todd. Are we speaking on the tab?
Yes.
Okay. And Alyssa?
Yes, police department as well.
That's tab, okay, then all these are tab 1.
Top items. Okay. All right, thank you. Okay, so I believe that concludes our oral communications, unless there's somebody who had something in general to speak to, didn't fill out the form. If not, we now will go to the council to consider removing or continuing any items on the agenda. And I would like to note for the record that there will be an item that pertains to an invoice, a warrant, I'm sorry, and I will be abstaining on warrant number, okay, it's a warrant number, I think, 10425 for National Council of Negro Women, and it is 2 payments, invoice number 1 of 8223 and invoice of 090623. There are 2 payments for services, $3,662.25, $3,865.21 for the total of $7,527.96. And that is in the warrants register 16, General 2, if I'm not mistaken. Anything else anyone has? Yes, Councilmember Scott.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to ask that we adjourn our meeting tonight in memory of the brother of our city treasurer, Edward Carrillo. His brother's name is Gilbert Carrillo.
Okay. Thank you.
I'd also like to adjourn in the name of Melvin Brown, who is the husband of Althea Brown, who is an active member of the Rialto Black History Committee.
Melvin Brown. Anyone else or anything, other items on the agenda? If not, I would like to entertain a motion to pass on the consent calendar.
So moved.
It's been moved by Councilman
Second.
Trio. Okay, second by Mayor Pro Tem Carrizales. Any objections? Hearing none. Motion carries. Then we'll move into our first tab item, and that will be, if I'm correct here, it will be tab number 1. I believe it says it's going to be Ms. Williams or a presentation.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Tanya Williams, Assistant to the City Manager. Thank you for giving us the opportunity tonight to bring to you an update on the status of the Rialto Police Station project. We'll have an update for you in terms of the design status as well as some options for the proposed financing of the project. Here we go. So again, tonight we'll go through kind of the work that we've done so far on the project, as well as go through the financial information and give you a high-level overview of the project schedule. So as you can imagine, there's quite a few folks who have been involved in this project to date. I don't see them quite in the room yet, but they are coming. We have Griffin Swinnerton, who has been our primary developer on the project. LPA is our architecture firm. MWL specializes in public safety. We have brought on Norton Rose Fulbright to be our bond counsel. Urban Futures is our municipal advisor, and Citi is our underwriter for the bond sale. So I will turn it now over to Jeremy, who will talk through some of the design elements of the project.
Thank you, Tanya. Madam Mayor, members of the council, it's wonderful to be here tonight to share the progress of the project with you. So we started the design process with some goal setting. What are the overriding goals that we wanted to keep in the back of our mind and understand the priorities as we look forward to the PD? And so we started with planning and building for the city's future, creating a state-of-the-art essential service facility that can provide appropriate emergency response. We were looking at optimizing resources for the public benefit, building a better facility so that we could retain staff and build a better police force, looking at flexibility, adaptability, and preservation of operations during construction. So that process started with how big should the police department be. We looked at the existing police department facility built in 1973. It's 18,800 square feet, and it was built when the city of Rialto had around 30,000 citizens, 39 sworn officers, and 6 civilian support staff. In 2023, the city of Rialto had over 104,000 people, 135 sworn staff, and 84 civilian support staff. And so when we started to analyze how big the building should be to support that staff, we got to the number of 53,686 square feet. But we didn't want to build just for today. We want to make sure that there's growth so that we can move into the future. So we look at what that projected growth for the Rialto population in 2035. That was the benchmark date that we were given. So projected population in Rialto is over 111,000 people. We expect the size of the police to the sworn officers to increase to 169 people with 91 civilian support staff. And so you can see there's some incremental growth that allows for us to accommodate those additional staff members. So getting to 56,000. So really, what makes up that number? We had a series of programming sessions where we sat down, met with departmental staff, understood their operations, understood how many people were in each department, what kind of growth was in those departments, and what kind of space functions that we needed for each of those. And so we looked at everything from the public spaces to the administration spaces, traffic, records, personnel, all the different support spaces. And then we also looked at training components like a firing range and having all sorts of logistics spaces. And operationally, that started to lead us to 2 buildings. It's more cost effective. We can put all the essential functions in a main headquarter building, and then we can build a support building that supports those non-essential functions that we can build to a lower seismic risk standard, but still standard building construction. So that started to inform these 2 buildings, the main building being 45,180 square feet, and then a support building that had a gross square footage of about 11,300 square feet. So what does all this look like as we approach the design? And I think it's important to note one of our original goals was how can we build the new PD and still maintain operational continuity? So you'll see that the new building and the new headquarters and the new support building are pushed to one side of the site, onto the right-hand side of the site. That allows us to construct the new building and keep the existing police headquarters operational. So all the dispatching communications, all the essential functions maintain operation during the course of construction. So our site plan starts to look like this. When we site the new police headquarters building, there's a public parking lot that'll front Willow. You'll have access to that public parking and then into a public lobby right there on the corner at Willow. The support building is tucked back in the corner, and primarily that's made up of the firearms proficiency range, and then all the secure parking contained in the balance of the site. So once we build the new PD, it can get occupied, we can demo the existing headquarters, and then build out the parking. So next we'll go to a bird's eye view. What will this kind of look like if you were a bird flying over the site? Here we are at the corner of Willow and Rialto Avenue. You can start to see there's that public parking on the front, the access off Willow. We have the opportunity for a park space there at the corner on the public side, and then you see the building in the background. There's a canopy. We are reusing all the PV, that investment that you made a few years ago in PV on site. We're going to be reusing that, building parking canopies, putting it some on the roof of the building. So we're maintaining those functions. Coming back down to eye level as we're moving along Willow, here you can see that canopy, very iconic and noticeable as you come down. One of the primary things that we want to do when we design a police station is make sure that everyone knows where the front door is, make sure it's very identifiable. If someone needs help and assistance, they can know where that front door is. So that's what you see. Moving down along to First Street, here's a kind of a nighttime view of what that might look like. You're seeing the canopy element coming out, uplit at night, so it'll glow. We've got the Rialto Police Department letters. They serve two functions. Good branding opportunity, good signage. Again, we want to make sure that the police department is easily identifiable, but they also serve as a barrier along that. There's an elevated outdoor patio space and a community room right there on the corner. And so if there's a function that spills out onto the patio from the community room, we want to make sure that there's some safety and some protection right there along Willow. Coming in, so this is a view as if we've just parked our car in the public parking lot, and what you might see walking up to the main front door. So there's some stairs that lead you up, an accessible ramp, providing that accessible path of travel up to the main entry. And then moving in, once you've kind of gone through that main entry, you'll be greeted with a wall with maybe some historic photos of the police department. We've got your records department, where the primary public interface here in the public lobby. Then moving interior into the building, we've got a couple of views that we wanted to share with you. One of the things that we really spent a lot of time talking to the police department about and thinking about from a design standpoint is making sure as we grow into this bigger building, we want to make sure that the department stays connected to each other. So easy flow, so we've got this internal staircase that connects the first and second floor in the center of the building, so everybody's got efficient flow and access. We really spent a lot of time in the design process thinking about operational efficiency, how departments were interconnected as we started to lay out the overall site and the building footprint. And then finally, the final look at the building, you see on the right-hand side, we've got a real-time crime center, so that's something that you don't currently have, providing understanding of kind of what's going on in traffic cameras around the city, being able to anticipate and aid in the dispatching of it, but then you get this larger view kind of as the interconnected departments of the police department. So at a really high level, that's our approach to the design of the building. And up next, Brandon's going to walk us through the financing portion.
Can we ask any questions?
Thank you.
Hey, good evening, Mayor, members of the council. My name is Brandon Kafori with Urban Futures. We're serving as a municipal advisor on the transaction. In that role, we have a fiduciary responsibility and duty in representing the city. It's a real pleasure being before you this evening, and want to congratulate the city on reaching this important milestone on the project. So as Jeremy indicated, I'm going to walk through some information pertaining to the financing of the project. A quick slide here on the development agreements before we get to that. So as you're aware, the pre-development agreement has been executed and is now complete. For consideration this evening, there is a development agreement. This contains the guaranteed maximum price, which is on the following slide. And it also provides for a project labor agreement, which provides for the essentially the construction labor to be executed as part of the project. As I indicated, the guaranteed maximum price for this project is provided here. The total budget for the project is approximately $83 million. This is a reduction from the initial estimate of $86.6 million, so there's a roughly $3.6 million reduction you see there. As the council is aware, the city previously appropriated $10 million towards this project, and that left a net cost to fund of approximately $73 million. So the financing team considered all of these statistics and numbers in preparing various scenarios and financing analysis that I'm going to talk about next. So on the next few slides, and this was also contained in the staff report, we're going to walk through the analysis that was done and how we got to a recommendation. On this page here, we have the assumptions that were used in putting together the analysis. So UFI, in the role as financial advisor, worked with Citi, who's serving as underwriter on the transaction. One thing I want to address up front, I understand there was some concerns expressed with regards to Citi's potential exit from the municipal bond business. I'm here tonight to reassure the council that the financing team and staff has no concerns about that. Citi is committed to the project. They've provided a competitive fee proposal, and they have extensive experience in this sector that we recommend that it's in the city's best interest to proceed accordingly with the plan before you. So in terms of the financing assumptions, we looked at 30, 35, and 40-year terms. These are appropriate given the long useful life of the asset. As a base case, we looked at the $10 million appropriation. And working with staff, we also looked at other scenarios up to $30 million appropriated to the project. So of these costs, of this appropriation, a portion of that would go towards pre-development with a balance of $6 million or $26 million going towards construction. We were very conservative with our interest rate assumptions, so the city will be going through a credit rating process if we have approval tonight. But for purposes of the analysis, we used an A category credit rating and rates as of October. Capitalized interest funded through December of 2026. This is also conservative. It's meant to align with the construction period and provide some buffer at the end of that period. And level payments were used as this provides budget certainty through the life of the bonds. So this is the first of 2 pages, with a lot of numbers on them, but I'll do my best here to walk through what's before you. So this is our base case analysis that we did in looking at the prior $10 million appropriation and what would it cost the city, right, in terms of annual payments and total interest over the life of the bonds. So as you can see, with a 30-year term, the estimated first full payment would be about $5.4 million. Capitalized interest, which again is that interest that's funded during construction, is about $11.8 million. And total interest is $78.5 million, with the total payments of $144 million. As one would expect, by extending the terms, you can reduce the annual payments, as you can see here. So for 35 years, it's reduced to $5.1 million, and for 40 years, it goes to $4.9 million. However, the interest costs increase significantly. So over the life of the bonds, assuming they're not called, interest costs go up to $96 million for 35 years and $114 million for a 40-year term. So that would be about a $35 million increase. So as I mentioned, staff looked at these scenarios, and we considered an additional set of numbers which would reflect an additional appropriation of city money of $20 million. So it's a total $30 million appropriation, and this would significantly reduce the borrowing amount and annual payments for the project. So as you can see, again, we looked at 30, 35, and 40-year terms. The 30-year term, which is highlighted in green and being recommended is the result is a $3.97 million annual payment, approximately. Capitalized interest is reduced to $8.7 million. Total interest goes to $57.6 million, and the total payments of $105.8 million. Again, we looked at the longer terms, which reduce the payments, but reflect higher interest costs, as you can see there, by the 35 and 40-year terms, which go up to 70 and 84 million. So as a result of the analysis and in conferring with staff, it's recommended tonight to proceed with a 30-year term and an additional appropriation, which would result in 26 million of cash being contributed to construction. The 30-year term, relative to the other scenarios, has the lowest interest cost, results in an annual payment of approximately 4 million, which preserves future budget flexibility and capacity. It also, it reflects a use of additional unrestricted reserves, which does not impact the city's existing operating reserves. And should we proceed with this, the first full payment would come in fiscal 2028, with the capitalized interest funding the period before that. So just a couple more slides here to wrap up. This reflects a brief summary of the source of the 20 million appropriation. It would come from unrestricted reserves. If you look in the far right middle of that chart, that is the projected amount that's available for fiscal 2024. And it does not impact the below the line items for operating reserves for economic uncertainty and non-spendable amounts, which are estimated at 51.7 million. And roughly that's almost 40% of expenditures, which is a fairly healthy amount. The resolutions tonight in your packets, I authorize the issuance of lease revenue bonds for an amount not to exceed 80 million. Should council proceed with the budget appropriation, we would expect to issue bonds less than this. However, we wanted to be conservative essentially in setting the not to exceeds. As part of these resolutions, they approve the documents needed to execute the financing. These are the preliminary official statement and various legal and lease documents that are needed. There's also a CEQA resolution, which approves the development agreement, and a budget resolution separate from this for the appropriation of 20 million. And my last slide here is the financing schedule. So in talking through this, we are prepared to, with approval, sell and close the bonds in December. This reflects a pricing date of around December 12th. The next item up is a meeting with Standard & Poor's, which is scheduled for this Friday. We have requested a rating by the end of November, somewhat, around then, to be able to post a preliminary official statement to investors around November 28th. And that would allow us to potentially price the bonds on December 12th, which is when the rates would be locked, and we'd potentially be closing December 20th. So with that, that concludes my portion of the presentation. I'm going to turn it back to Tanya to wrap us up.
Okay.
So bringing it back to a high-level view of the project, you can see here that the work that's been done so far from 2022 through this year, 2023, we've done quite a bit of work. And then looking ahead, we have the financing component, and then we're looking at, if approved tonight, moving forward with the groundbreaking in May of 2024, and that puts us on schedule to completely, fully realize the project in July of 2026. So that completes our presentation for you tonight. The whole team is here to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you. This is a public hearing, and we now have, I think, a number of people who have wanted to speak to the public hearing. And just so that maybe I restate the process, we will hear from those who have expressed that they want to ask questions or make comments. And then after that, we will go and close the public hearing, and then my colleagues and I will have questions of this team, the staff, and anything else. So with that, Madam City Clerk?
Eric A. Colinet.
Eric? Perhaps while we're waiting for Eric, is there people that are also outside?
Lauren Colinet.
Laura? Okay. Please come on up to the podium.
Hello, council members. My name is Lauren Coatney. I have lived in the city of Rialto for over 50 years. I have raised both my children here, and I've been very involved with the police department. I worked for one of the largest uniform companies in Southern California, and from the moment they were hired and entered into the police academy, we outfitted them, and I've seen many of those individuals go from a probationary patrol officer to retirement. And I would really appreciate if you would consider the financial responsibility that we need to go forward for these officers. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Did Earl walk in? No.
Earl?
Did you
Okay.
want to speak?
Yes.
Hi, my name's Earl Coatney. I'm married to Lauren.
Okay.
We've lived here over 50 years. I'm proud to say that we probably have one of the finest police departments in the Inland Park. If you look at the other departments around here, we've always risen to the, what we were supposed to do. I worked 10 years as a volunteer and was very impressed with, their operation. So I think the city should come up to the standards of the officers.
Okay.
I think you ought to step into the 21st century. They deserve it.
Thank you.
Terry Thompson.
I'm sorry, I don't think.
Terry Thompson.
Terry Thompson?
You'll have to excuse me, I've lost some of my hearing, so
Okay.
sometimes I go on and on. Somebody will have to poke me or something.
Okay.
God, there's a lot of cops in this room. Who's watching the street?
Oh.
I'll get this right here. Madam Mayor and City Council, I'm here this evening in support of a new police facility. Kathy, my wife, and I have lived in Rialto for more than 43 years. And even more so, we have spent a combined 54 years of our law enforcement experience as reserve officer, community services officer, sworn officer, and civilian volunteer with the finest law enforcement agency there is, the Rialto Police Department. In reviewing the plans for the new facility, I saw more than 2 buildings. Designed with care and forethought, I saw a police facility that promotes an open welcomeness to our community members seeking help and solace. An openness that is rarely seen in law enforcement facilities today. I saw a facility where future recruits will want to be employed. I saw a facility where officers and staff alike will want to remain. I saw civic pride and recruitment and retention. I also saw a facility that embraces the future technologies that Rialto Police Department has become known for employing. Technologies that promote the force multipliers to save not only manpower and money, technologies that reduce the human misery of victimization, and technology that saves lives. Spider, Tech, and Rialto Real-Time Crime Center and Analysis are just two of those technologies, and they are both built in with this facility. We are government, and the community members that embody that government are the caretakers of not only the memory of our public safety personnel, we are shepherds to their day-to-day existence. And we are responsible for their work environment, as that environment bears direct impact upon their ability to perform their duties. I'm confident that this body wishes to provide, just as the preamble of the United States Constitution demands, that we will establish justice and ensure domestic tranquility. Tranquility, peace. In this room, we see a number of our peace officers and support personnel, all sworn to just do that. Establish justice and ensure domestic tranquility. Let us provide them with the tools and the environment to bring about an even better Rialto Police Department. Thank you very much.
Our former Lieutenant Kathy Thompson.
Good evening, Kathy Thompson, citizen of Rialto. I was a police officer for the Rialto Police Department for 30 years, and my husband Terry and I have lived here in our home for 43 years. Mayor Robertson and council members, I am here tonight to encourage you to move forward with the financing segment for the new police facility. Our city has made significant progress in the last few years with the completion of the Pepper Avenue extension and the Renaissance Marketplace, and now with the Gateway. Rialto really has begun to take on a new persona. In the past, there have been many attempts to bring in a new facility. I can remember going back to January of 1990, but it always seemed that obstacles got in the way for one reason or another, and it simply never happened. But now, Rialto is a stronger community. It's a stronger government, I think a more close-knit community, and I know that our revenue is stronger than it's been in a very long time. I truly believe that now is the time to make this anticipated project from so many years finally to become a reality. And as we saw in the presentation this evening, built in the 1970s when Rialto was a much smaller city, and of course we had a significantly less law enforcement personnel, the current police station has served us well, but we have been we completely outgrew it many, many years ago. I've had the opportunity recently to see the plans firsthand. It is really impressive, and it almost makes me wish that I was back in uniform and I could someday work there, but I will visit it. I applaud you all sincerely for the significant financial investment that you've already made in the planning stages for the facility. The new facility will take policing here in Rialto to an entirely new level, and with the state-of-the-art equipment that will be provided, it will give the men and women of the Rialto Police Department the opportunity to move into the 21st century with technology that will better serve the citizens of the city that we all call home. Yes, it comes with a hefty price tag, but I believe truly that we are in a much better position now than ever before to make this a reality. And I see it not only as an investment in excellence and professionalism for the men and women of the Rialto Police Department, but I see it truly as a move forward, a continuing move forward with our current mayor and council for an investment in the future of our city. And I would encourage you tonight to move forward with the financing for the new police facility. Thank you so much.
Former mayor and former police chief, Ray Farmer.
Well, good evening, Mayor and Council. It's an honor to be here this evening to speak in favor of this financing project for the new police facility. There's a lot of history. I've lived a lot of that history, serving 30 years in the police department, 15 years as chief. Let me agree with what has been said, and I won't repeat the wonderful things that we've heard about the plans and the future of this building. And certainly the officers and employees of this department deserve finally a police facility that they can not only be proud of, but also provide a professional service to your community. I came to City Rialto and I've lived here 60 years. I first started with the city in '63 over in the corner of Riverside and Rialto Avenue in a very small facility. We moved into the current facility in 1973. This is important. This was a facility that at that time the thinking was the city would never grow beyond 50,000 folks. At that time I had the concern that the city had much more potential for growth, but they decided to short circuit that building, and we ended up with a building that only provided us with a good facility for about 10 years. I became chief in 1977, and that was just a few short years after that building was built. And within 2 or 3 years, we started building trailers on the parking lot. I think we have 3 or 4 out there now. They were supposed to be 10-year facilities for the overflow of the growth of the community and of the police department. We made a couple of endeavors to build a new facility and in the 1980s, and then when I was on the council in the 1990s, and the funding wasn't there, and I don't think the desire was there to move forward. I believe the city is in a much better position at this point, and I know this council is very public safety minded for both the police and fire department. We have the finest public safety departments anywhere. I'm concerned as we look to the east, there's a lot of issues. I think Rialto does not have those issues because this is a strong law and order public safety community, and we have an outstanding police department that continues to keep our city safe, irrespective of what's going around us in other communities. I think that this facility, we should not make the mistake of not building this facility and not moving forward. We cannot repeat the mistakes of 1973, where we built a facility that was short-sighted and certainly antiquated about the time that we moved into that facility. At that time, there was a reluctance to move forward. When we tried to build another facility in the late 80s and 90s, the city wasn't really in a good financial position, and you were not looking at some of these alternative thinking out of the box financing ideas to raise the revenue. So therefore, a $26 million facility in the 90s, had we built that, you wouldn't be facing this juncture in building this more expensive facility. However, what is the alternatives? If we don't move forward building this facility, not only is it sending not a very good message to the community where our priorities are for public safety, but are these officers to return to the trailers in the parking lot on Willow? Are we going to cut back on the scope of this simply to save dollars and repeat the same mistakes in 1973. We have a very proud, very progressive community. We have a very proud and progressive city council, and I commend all of you for bringing this to this point. However, this is an inflection point, and we must move forward from here. So I urge a unanimous vote from the city council stating their priority for the need of this police facility and the support of public safety in your community, not just for the officers and for yourselves, but for all the citizens that live here now and the ones that will be moving here in the future. So it's vitally important to send that message and put that building on the corner of Willow and Rialto Avenues that we all can be proud of. Thank you.
Luis Lopez.
Well, that's definitely a hard public comment to follow. Good evening, Madam Mayor, council members, staff, community, and Rialto Police Department. My name is Luis Lopez. I'm a business agent for the Ironworkers Local 433. I represent over 5,000 members. I also sit on the Workforce Development Board for the County of San Bernardino. So I see up close the needs for jobs for many of our populations, not only our children, or I should say young adults. I know a lot of us think of our children, even though they're above 18, as our children. But these young adults entering into the workforce and entering into an apprenticeship program. But not only that, we honored some veterans here tonight. I thought that was very special. I'm a Marine Corps veteran myself. So I understand. I did 2 tours. I had just as much anxiety coming home than I did leaving for deployment. Not knowing where I was going to land, not knowing where I was going to get my health care, my benefits, because I'm coming from the military that took care of everything for me. So it can be challenging, but many of the trades that are here tonight, I know some of them are in other cities speaking on other projects, but on behalf of the trades, for the building trades, many of us offer those apprenticeship programs to our men and women coming home from serving our country through helmets to hard hats. Not only that, we also partnership with, matter of fact, probation departments. I have a young apprentice here this evening that you'll hear from later that we've been working with, and has just made tremendous strides in his life, and we're continuing to see him grow. So we partnership with the probation departments, identifying those that are ready to move on responsibly into a good paying job and continue that course in life. It's important that we continue to offer that. And with this project, under a labor agreement, it really shows true transparency and the partnership of the teams that have formed this project and reached out to the building trades and asked for participation, because the skilled and trained workforce is just as important in building as it is in public service. And these officers need this resource so that they continue to serve this community as best as they can with their training. I do ask that this council, please, like it was stated, unanimously move this project forward. On behalf of the building trades, the Ironworkers, Local 433, and other trades here that you'll hear from this evening, I thank you, and God bless the city of Rialto.
Thank you.
Leonard Cross.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and council members. My name is Leonard Cross. I'm a business representative for the Operating Engineers, Local 12. I've been a member for over 17 years. Good union work have treated me great. I'm in support of this project, and I wish that you approve this and move forward with this project. Thank you.
Thank you.
Robert Lugan.
Mayor and Chair, councilman members, my name is Robert R. Lugan. I am also a 3-year Marine, and I brought that mentality to the ironworkers, Local 416 ironworkers, that because they weren't ready for me. But I was sergeant of arms for 9 years. They gave me the nickname Mad Dog. And I hold that honorary because I make sure that things are laid out correctly so that our union trade will amplify itself by the way we work, the way we put the rebar in, the way we tie it, the way we care about what we're building. I am a product of family members that also serve in the public service. My grandfather was a Texas Ranger. My other grandfather was a highway patrol at Costa Rica. I have a brother-in-law who's a lieutenant in Chino Prison Corrections. He retired. And a nephew who was Long Beach Police detective now because they put their heart and their will, and I could see that in these Rialto police officers here, that they put their heart into it. And I am a product of the apprenticeship program of the ironworkers. Took me 4 years to get this watch, because when you retire, we graduate, they give you a watch. And I tell them this is worth more than a Rolex to me. But so at this time, I am just bringing to your attention that we are proud of our work. We go through the extra mile, especially for these buildings, these walls, these footings for our law enforcement brothers. I call them a band of brothers, because that's what I had in the Marine Corps. We all protect each other. We're all stewards. You know, we know when something goes down, we correct each other. And so, because we're only human. So at this time, I just like to say to approve this project, and I thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you.
Aho, metakuiasa.
Richard Royce.
Good evening, one and all. My name is Richard Royce, and I am the president of the Rialto Police Benefit Association. I represent everyone you see here, all the men and women of the police department. And I wanted to give a different point of what we've been dealing with here. You're never going to hear any of these people complain about the working conditions with the department. That's just who they are. But I wanted to give you a little insight on what they deal with every day. I've worked in that building across the street now for over half its life, and it's from that experience that I talk about its condition. We'll start with the plumbing. Our water lines are so bad that we have to use bottled water for drinking. Our sewage lines are so small they get clogged very easily. Our sump pump often fails, and when it does, it's catastrophic. Not too long ago, we had a very bad failure of that sump pump, which caused the building to overflow with raw sewage. It was very bad. It seeped into the walls, the floor, leaked downstairs. When they removed all the tile to clean that up, they exposed the cracked concrete base on both the upper and lower decks of the department. We actually have had several escape attempts from our holding cell. I say attempted. No one's actually escaped because of the fine work of our men and women. But we do have to constantly reinforce and fix the steel doors, the locks, and the concrete blocks are starting to become brittle. Our AC unit, air conditioning, is unreliable. It usually breaks during summertime, the most inopportune time. We actually had to send people home because it was too hot to work inside. So hot that the computers would actually turn off. The AC is also ineffective simply because of the age of the department. That's because we've installed doors where there used to be windows and vice versa, so we have no airflow. We have to use portable air conditioners and purifiers, not just for air conditioning, but also to air out that, I'll just say must, that lingers from the holding cells and throughout the hallways into the offices. And then, of course, our service to our public. Our parking lot gets kind of congested the way it is because we have employees, we have police vehicles, and we have public all entering and exiting the same entryway, causing an issue. We're barely ADA compliant with our current building. And our front lobby is so small that people sometimes have to wait outside in the elements for service. So it's been addressed. Not only does our new station address these concerns, it also has built-in expansion, so we don't have to deal with this 50 years from now all over again. And lastly, I want to take a point of personal privilege and thank Councilman Ed Scott and Councilman Rafael Trujillo for your generous donation to our law enforcement memorial. We appreciate that. It means a lot. And to the rest of council and the general public, I want to thank you all in advance for your consideration in funding this new station, one that we all deserve and need. And if we're to build on that bridge to progress, we need to make that happen. So I thank you all for your time.
Alyssa Palmer.
Hello, Madam Mayor. Hello, City Council. My name is Alyssa Palmer, and I am here for my boss, Slaughter Bradley. I'm here with the with the Inland Empire Building and Construction Trades Council. I am the executive assistant, so I typically work in the office. But as Louis mentioned, we have representatives multiple places tonight, so I stepped in for my boss. And I would just like to say that the building trades and the council is honored to be working with the city. We are so excited that you guys are considering this project labor agreement. We are so excited to work with Swinnerton and everyone else brought on to build this project for you guys and to build this station. And I would like to tell you guys a little story about my dad. My dad is a UA pipe fitter. He's a local 250 and he works out of Los Angeles. Earlier this year, he was injured at work. And it was through the quick responses of many individuals that saved his life. Some of those individuals would be the local PD and first responders who got to the job site quickly and were able to save his life. They're the reason he is here with us today. Those men and women were able to do their job because they had adequate facilities and they were mentally and physically prepared for the job that they had to do. The building trades takes pride in doing their job correctly, doing it right, doing it efficiently. I urge you guys to consider to pass this agreement, like everyone else has said, unanimously, and allow these skilled and trades unions to come in and build this project for you guys and build your station correctly, build it efficiently, and build it right so that your police force has the proper facilities and adequate facilities to do their work and to continue to serve your city. Thank you.
Thank you.
Todd Golan II.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Todd Golden II. I'm a working member and an instructor for the apprentices at a UA Sprinkler Fitters Local 709. I would just like to state my support for this project and thank the City of Rialto for their support on the project labor agreement.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think this is Jacob, but I'm not really sure. Who filled out Local 433 Iron Workers?
Okay, there it is.
Is your name Jacob?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm
Good
not
evening.
understanding the writing.
I am Jacob Aguila. I come from Local 433. I'm a fourth period apprentice, and I would just wanted to bring to your attention that it would be a good opportunity to build this new police station.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have the last public road communication chief, Clean.
Wow, 12 years almost, and it's the very first time I've ever spoke at public oral communications. So I'm not sure, a little nervous. I used to watch people all the time. Now I got to get up here and do it. Just to give you a graphic, council, if I can get all the employees that are here to stand up, please, both sworn and not sworn. Those that aren't. That police facility across the street was built to house as many people that's in here that's representing you, the police department here tonight. Just to give you a graphic. We are 3 times that right now. And we're pounding so hard to put people in offices that are just atrocious. I really appreciate Union President Royce to come up and kind of explain to you. You've all been in the department. You know the deplorable conditions that we have, but yet these fine, young, and hard-charging young women and men of this police department are professional, knowing what they actually leave every single day as far as what they're calling their home. And I have to hand it to you because, Mayor, if you remember, when I came here this last time, I asked you for 3 things. And I've said that at this podium several times. Those 3 things I refer to as a tripod. And I'm actually here to implore you to support this project more so than you already have, to approve this funding. I understand there's concerns about what city financial is supposed to do. I'm sure that you'll have questions, they'll answer it, and really that's really not a concern. I think at your concern, at your level, you should be satisfied with every one of the answers that all these folks here behind me, not just the women and men of the department, but everyone in a suit here in the first few aisles that actually have put together a project that, Mayor, you would call the jewel of what Rialto is. This is going to be the flagship building for the entire city in the future. It is. I think our employees deserve so much more than what they have, and you provide everything that they get. Councilmember Scott, you and I had a conversation before I came back, and one of the things in that tripod was a brand new police station. And sir, you have certainly kept up your desire and push to get us to where we are right now. And that doesn't take anything away from Councilmember Trujillo, Councilmember Casales, Councilmember Baca. I know when this thing was actually put together, you were not on council, but your son was. Mayor, your unwavering support for this police department, it's every day. And all I'm asking you to do is please provide us a home that we can call ours for the next 50+ years, and something that this community can be extremely proud of, as you actually have built one of the best and most professional police agencies, not only in the region, but Southern California. So again, I implore you, support this project, move forward with the financial piece, and let us get to business of building a station. Thank you so much.
Okay, Madam City Clerk, that concludes these that you have that wanted to speak during public hearing.
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Was there anyone else in the audience that did not put in a paper but would like to come up and say anything? If not,
Move to close the public hearing.
it's been moved by Councilmember Ed Scott and seconded by Councilmember Trujillo. Is there any objections to closing the hearing? Hearing none, the public hearing is officially closed. And I do see that Councilmember Scott has his hand up, and I know that Councilmember Baca Senior have his light on, but I get to take executive privilege.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Mayor.
And say to you, Chief, and you guys all out here that took the time to come in here, never mind somebody wondered who's watching the city. I'm sure the city's okay. I just want to say, do you honestly think that I would have brought us this far?
Oh, you're going to take us all the way now.
To abandon? No, there's a Christian gospel song that says, I wouldn't have brought you this far to leave you. So you guys go on and speak, because I don't know where they would have gotten that. I'm about not spending time and energy and then not proceeding. So it's without a doubt, I don't know what they have to say, but move forward. Go ahead, guys. I know we have a great department. I know that. Thank you. Councilmember Scott.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. First off, Madam Mayor, I want to thank you for moving this forward. I also want to say that it's been a privilege to serve on a committee with you throughout this whole duration, which actually has been pretty short for most projects in this city. I think one thing that we did not talk about tonight was how we got here tonight. and that was back about 18 months ago, I think, when Marcus Fuller was the city manager here. We asked him to go out for an RFP. He did. We had, if I remember right, 4 proposals. Is it 4 or 3? 3. Whatever the number is. 3? 3. I think we sent 4, or responded to 4 people, but only 3 came. So we interviewed them. They brought with them their ideas, their plans. They brought their bankers with them because as part of the RFP, it required them to come up with a financing plan. I think we had, I don't recall if City was in here that day, but I know Barclays was here, others were here, and we unanimously chose Griffin Sweenerton because of their professionalism, the process that they took us through. And part of that process, a committee was set up in the city. The mayor and I had the honor to serve on it, as did a number of employees in the city. We went through the city and pretty much told everybody that this is a building for the men and women that work in it, and they need to have the input into what it looks like and what it ultimately becomes. We also took tours of other police departments that Griffin Sweenerton has built. I had the honor to go to Salinas. Very nice police department. We were very engaged with the men and women there and got some great answers. Chief Kling referred to me meeting with him when he came back, which I did, and that was one of the commitments I made, was that we were going to somehow get a police station built in this city. Luckily, most of it, I think, through God and a lot of hard work by the city council, the city has done very well over the last few years. And I can go back to first coming on the council in 1999. Between 1999 and 2000, Chief Farmer, then Mayor Farmer, you and I sat in this room, and there was a plan to build a police station. I believe it was about $50 million, and the money was going to come from the landfill. Well, others thought differently, and that money kind of, I don't know where it went, but it left. And the police station didn't get built. Chris Farmer back there, I think, was riding his bicycle around here. I really don't know how old he is, but he was a young guy then. But it's been a dream of everybody in this city, especially Chief Farmers, to have a new police station over there, have something that was representative of the great men and women of this city. And that's past men and women, current men and women, and it'll be the future. But you are the future of this city, and I personally want to thank each and every one of you for what you do every day and how you protect the residents of this city. I go to other cities, I don't see the professionalism, I don't see the engagement that I see in Rialto. So I want to thank each and every one of you, and this building is for you. This is your home. We want you to appreciate it, love it, but we want it to make you feel like you belong here. So, as you can guess, I strongly support this project. I also have looked at the situation with City. They're totally qualified to be doing this bonding, and Griffin Sweenerton, I think you will do a great job. I do want to take a minute to thank 2 people that have served on the committee that I really think got us to where we're at.
You too.
And one of those individuals is Tanya Williams. Tanya, in my opinion, you have proven your leadership in this city. You've done a great job, you've been very professional, and you've kept the ball moving. The other person is J-Lo Lopez. Because I can tell you, Kling is lost without her, without a question. She brings him his coffee, she makes sure he's got his shoes tied. She keeps him in line. And also, Sergeant Palmer, I know you were in every meeting, as were others, but again, thank you. Now, I don't really have any questions about the project. I'm totally prepared to move forward with it, but I do have a question for Chief Kling. I'm going to put him on the spot about something tonight. You want to answer from here? I've made the commitment to stay on the council and/or live long enough to see this happen. I don't know which is going to come first, but it'll be one or the other. But I've heard rumors about you, so I wanted tonight to hear your commitment as to where you're at as far as staying with the city, moving forward with the city, and these little retirement rumors I'm hearing, I'm hoping are not accurate.
Take the fifth.
Take the fifth.
Plead the
In front
fifth.
of the men and women of the Rialto Police Department, let's hear this.
Sir, I'm their leader. You have given me that privilege. It's an honor to serve them, and as much as I thought I was going to retire on December the 31st, that is not the case right now. If you're asking me for a specific date, I don't have one.
Nope, I don't need a date, just want to make sure we're going to be here
I
after.
will not be leaving on the 31st because my job isn't done.
Great, thank you. Madam Mayor, I'll turn
Is
it
that
over
it?
to my colleagues.
All right.
I hope this is a great night for Rialto.
Oh, I think it is.
I think it is, and I think we're moving forward, and I think it's something we can be very proud of.
Councilmember Baca.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I don't think anybody here in the council is against this police facility that needs to be built and to make sure that we move into the 21st century. Build it and the people will come.
That's right.
And I think that's very important. Not only will the population continue to grow, I expect the city of Rialto to have over 150-some thousand or more in the near future. But we got to be prepared for that. And that means that we should have a facility that meets the 21st century. And that's very important for a lot of us. But a lot of that wouldn't happen without the police officers that we have here today that have been providing the services over the last years or so that have made this city one of the best cities in terms of public safety. I want to thank each and every one of you officers for doing that. Let's stand and give them a round of applause. Now, also, I like the fact that we do have a trade agreement and that we have a variety of different trades that are going to be involved in building this new facility that we desperately need. I don't believe that we should just stop with the police facility. I believe that we need an administration building a new one. I believe that we need a new Johnson Center too as well in the near future because we want to move the city of Rialto into the 21st century when people can come here and say, you know what, I live in Rialto and I'm proud to be a Rialtoan. And that's the attitude that we should have about anybody who wants to come into our city, because we have the best police, we have the best fire. I don't want to exclude the fire department because they've done a great job too as well. But as you can see, that all of us here will support this. But I have just a couple of concerns, and not that I'm against any of it, but it's a concern that I have, and I just always want a fair process to always exist. And And one of it, and I guess Brandon, I guess you're the person I want to call up. Can you come up? Brandon, was there a bid process in terms of the bonding that we have, or was it just selected by a developer or yourself or someone?
I can make brief comments on that, and then I defer to staff. But essentially, I believe, as Councilman Scott pointed out, there was an RFP process for the developer, and they brought their financing teams. So initially, city was introduced through that process. However, in the process of putting together the financing, we did negotiate a fee with them that is competitive market rate, and they are extremely experienced in the space and very active with these types of financings.
I'm not against Citigroup doing the bonding, which is okay. So I want that on the record. I'm not against them. They're okay. But I'm very much concerned with articles that have appeared, and you probably have seen those, and that's the bond buyers, where they indicate that they're going to be maybe going out of business, not doing the bonding in the future, along with Citigroup, a CEO making a statement that they may not be in this business in the future. I just want to make sure that we have a backup plan to make sure that we do not delay the process, that we continue to make sure that everything is met on time, because these are people's lives that are going to be working, all of the trade groups that will be involved in it. And we've got to make sure that we have, and all I'm asking is maybe we should just have a joint managers agreement with some other bonding firm, just as a backup, to make sure that if they go out of business, that we still will continue to progress and advance the facility the way it should be, without any delays. Is there a problem to that?
I'd actually like to, we have representatives from city in attendance. Senior management is here for the municipal operation. I'd like to bring up Chris Mackay to make some comments, if I could. I think just to address your concerns.
Think so.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and council members. My name is Chris Mackay. I am with Citigroup, and I head our public finance practice in California and the Western United States. Some of you, has been referred to, saw that there was in September, Citigroup announced that it was going to be pursuing a number of structural changes to the firm. Since that time, the firm continues to assess various businesses and functions to ensure that it all matches with city's strategy and initiatives going forward. There have been no decisions made with regard to the municipal bond business at this time. While City continues to evaluate these changes, we remain fully committed to successfully completing any financing in which we've been engaged. Since that time, since the beginning of this month, we've completed 12 financings worth over $1.8 billion. This week, we're doing a financing over $1 billion for the District of Columbia. And on the docket, we have in the next couple of weeks another multiple projects with multiple billions of dollars. So we continue to transact, remain fully committed to successfully completing financings for which we've been hired.
Is there any possibility that they will discontinue doing public financing?
Well, as I mentioned, Councilman, we continue to be fully committed to successfully completing the financings that we have been hired to do.
I just want to make sure, so this way it does, the bonds don't go up and cost us a lot more, and then we continue. And that's all I'm asking for. I'm not against Citigroup. I'm okay with Citigroup doing it. It's just that I want to make sure that there is no delays at all, and that there is a backup plan just in case.
Okay.
Brandon?
All right.
Respectfully, council member, I think just given where we're at in the process, as I alluded to in the schedule, we're looking to price and close bonds in December, which is coming up very quickly.
Yes.
And I think we're at a point, if the financing were a year from now, it might be a different discussion. But respectfully, we're in a position to hit the ground running. And I think with city on board, that is the best case for the city to lock in the financing.
I'm not disputing that,
Okay.
Brandon. I'm saying it's okay with it. I'm just saying if it doesn't happen, to have a backup plan just in case with a joint manager's agreement with some other firm. That's all.
Councilmember, I don't think that he is in the position to make a decision about backup plans. We have a proposal in front of us.
Correct.
Now, I know that I have my colleagues that have their phone, their lights on. Now, if at the conclusion, if that's something that you feel you want to make a motion on in the course of us moving, you can do that. But I know that we're talking about something within the next month.
Right.
And so
12th is around the corner.
I would rather, personally, I could say that I would not myself entertain that right now. We already have a schedule. I read what this is about. I read what started this, and I think I would recommend anybody who would like to read this article, they go pull it and read it, because it also has a lot to do with how the state of Texas has chose to address city based on the fact that they felt that city has, I'm just paraphrasing quickly, not held a position about being a strong advocate for guns. This is a banking matter for me right now, and a financing matter and locking in something. So I would just say, rather than you putting him in a position where he's not in the position to make those decisions, because I think as a group and a team and a task force and as a committee, and like you said, it started 18 months ago, we're at almost the end of the race instead of at the beginning.
Right,
So-
Madam Mayor, as I indicated, I didn't state that I would vote against it. I stated that I would support it. I just asked.
I know, but I think what I'm saying respectfully, you're
understand.
posing the question to the person who can't make that decision.
Right, I
If
understand.
that's something we want to do in our policy, we can do that. So I will, I'll give it to you, Councilmember. And I'm just saying, because he can't stand there and you keep pressing him that you want to know if he would recommend that.
So we've had, discussions among us, throughout the years, even our prior councils have had these discussions. It was when ARPA came up that we actually started throwing some of the kind of base money for this. And so it's something that was just a can that was just kicked down the road. And that's one of the reasons why I'm not really supporting and reworking what we have in front of us, mostly because it'll just take more time, throw us into a different type of financial financing bracket, and I'm really just here to try to move this project forward, because I think our officers really deserve this project to not be delayed and definitely not be kicked down the road again and again. So that's one of the reasons why I'm going to be supporting this tonight. But I do have one question, because I was looking at the numbers on the PowerPoints, and it threw out numbers like 10 million and infusing 20 million, which I understand the source of that one. But there was also 2.5 million for furniture. Is that outside of this kind of agreement?
Just that's included in the GMP.
Okay, so it's included in the larger figure of the 10 million? Is it, or the 20?
The total cost is estimated.
Okay.
Yeah, it's included in that.
Okay, I didn't see it stick out, so I just wanted to double check on that. But yeah, I'm in full support of moving forward on the recommendations from staff. There's a lot of people who have been working on this, our chief, our committee. I'm ready to move this forward for the benefit of our community and our officers who's been waiting for this for many, many years.
Mayor Pro Tem Carrizales.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I would like to start by thanking the subcommittee, Mayor and Councilmember Scott, all your hard work, along with the chief and the staff and everyone that has been involved. But as I look around, I see some of the finest men and women, sworn and unsworn, that deserve this new police station. One of my responsibilities and commitment to this community is to keep us safe by bringing this new police station to our community, that puts our money where our mouth is. That says to our community, you deserve this police station, you deserve the technology, and it also tells our police officers that we appreciate every single one of you, and we're going to show you by moving forward with this police station. And I will move forward, and I'll move for approval.
Second.
Wait, excuse me, before you move forward, I know, see, that's the wonderful process, but I think I would ask if you, one, would withdraw your motion.
Absolutely, I will
And
let
give
the subcommittee the
Councilmember
opportunity.
Scott the honors to move the item forward. But before we do that, if you don't mind, I just want to say there's a few other people that we didn't call out that was around the team, and you did capture Sergeant Palmer, and you've captured some others. But I also say what we're talking about is a person who was in the room as well with this team that has to look at these numbers, look at what we do, and find out if we have the money. And I want to take the moment to acknowledge our finance director, Ms. Catherine Stevens, because, come on, guys. I'm going to be honest. I have a saying, and my husband will attest to it, I must have money because I still have checks. But see, Catherine's the type of person that has to validate if I'm writing a check that myself can't keep. So, no, and that's collectively for us in our city. So I think, I know that this company and this financing department, no matter what's going on in a month, they are going to still need to do business and honor their business. And if for some reason we have to revisit that bonding structure, I think we can do that. We can pivot, but we don't have to take our eye off the sparrow. So I'm good with where we're going. I appreciate what you're raising, Councilmember Baca Sr., but I want to see something that really is for the citizens besides the Renaissance regional market and all the markets, really be reflective of how we feel about our employees. And we're right. After this, we will start on some type of facility for the community as well. So I'm going to ask you, if you don't mind, going in the record as making that motion.
And Mayor, before we start that, I would like to clarify for the record that when we opened the meeting this evening, we opened it not only for the City Council, but also for the Rialto Public Financing Authority.
Okay.
And so the actions you're going to take, 3 of these resolutions are by the city. Resolution number 3 is taken by the Rialto Public Finance Authority.
Okay.
And we should do these each with an individual roll call vote as we go down the line. Thank you.
And also, I'm going to ask that the motion read the entire resolution heading for me for each of the resolutions, please. And I actually want you to read these I'm going to give you. I want to make sure that we're the same. So I just want to make sure, who make the motion?
Ed.
Who second it?
Second.
I had
Andy? Okay.
I will second. Andy asked me if I would love to second it, and I would love to second it, if you don't mind.
For the record.
You want the motion made now?
Yes, please.
I thought you wanted a separate one for each one.
But it's going to be the same, but I want you to read what I'm going to give you, but I want to write down before I walk down there. I just want to see.
I'm second.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You guys didn't
I just have them separated, okay?
Okay.
The entire one.
On behalf of the mayor and the city council, I motion to approve Resolution 8167, a resolution of the city of Rialto, the city council, finding that the new police station project is categorically exempt from CEQA pursuant to sections 15302 and 15332 of the California Environmental Quality Guidelines relating to replacement or reconstruction development projects and infill development projects, respectively, and approving a development agreement between the city and Griffith Sweenerton LLC relating to the construction of the project and taking related actions.
And that is a motion by Councilmember Scott, second by Mayor Robertson.
Councilmember Down, please do a roll call.
Councilmember Scott,
Aye.
Mayor Robertson,
Aye.
Councilmember Baca,
Aye.
Councilmember Trujillo,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Andy Karasetis.
Aye.
Thank you.
A motion on behalf of the mayor and city council to approve resolution 8168, resolution of the city council of the city of Rialto authorizing and approving the issuance of lease revenue bonds 2023 Series A Police Station Project in the aggregate principal amount not to exceed $80 million. Approving the form of a preliminary official statement and the execution and delivery of a final official statement, a site and facility lease, a lease agreement, a continuing disclosure agreement, and a bond purchase agreement, and authorizing actions and execution of the documents related thereto.
Councilmember Scott,
Aye.
Mayor Robertson,
Aye.
Councilmember Baca,
Aye.
Councilmember Trujillo,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Karasetis.
Aye.
On behalf of the mayor and the city council, motion to approve RFA-01-23, resolution of the Rialto Public Financing Authority approving the issuance of lease revenue bonds 2023 Series A Police Station Project in the aggregate principal amount not to exceed $80 million. Approving the form of a preliminary official statement and the execution and delivery of a final official statement, a site and facility lease, a lease agreement, an assignment agreement, an indenture, and a bond purchase agreement, and authorizing actions and execution of documents related thereto.
Are you acting as the Public Finance Authority agent?
Yes.
Councilmember Scott?
Aye.
Well, actually, not Councilmember, Public Finance Authority agent.
Aye.
Mayor Robertson, it's the same.
Public Financing Authority agent.
And the
Aye.
following council members as the Public Finance Authority agent. Baca.
Public Finance Authority. Aye.
Public Finance Authority, aye.
Public Finance Authority, aye.
Thank you.
Okay.
Resolution 8169, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Rialto, California, amending the 2023-2024 fiscal year budget for the purpose of appropriating additional funds for the police station project.
Councilmember Scott.
Aye.
Mayor Robertson.
Aye.
Councilmember Baca.
Aye.
Councilmember Trujillo.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Karasetis.
Aye.
Thank you. That concludes.
All right. Give ourselves a round of applause. Okay, Chief, before you make comment, I would like to ask our Assistant City Manager, though, would you please, along with our Finance Director and the team, go back and determine with what we had when we had those who came in on the RFP, if there is a need to revisit? If we do we go back to look at those that were also originally there with the finance, or would we look at creating what sometimes we call a bench? And if so, would we add others to that bench as the backup plan?
Mayor, we did do that today. We did myself, Chief Kling, Tanya Williams, as well as, let's see, we had Urban Futures, we had Norton Rose Fulbright. We all met today to discuss what our plan would be. We are all convinced across the board that the commitment from city is there.
I understand. I understand.
Okay.
I'm just saying, in that process of, because I didn't hear you announce as part of that team, the finance director, or even our procurement officers who have to go through procedural stuff. So I hear what you're saying.
Okay.
And I agree, and I've read this. Even if they go through with a commitment and they change to eliminate the muni trading element of their organization, they still would have to be obligated to deal with whatever they put. But I just wanted to raise that because we do create benches, and so.
Absolutely, we will evaluate that.
I appreciate the team is there, but let's just look at that from a council's perspective. And if we need that, how do we go back and look at, do we need a bench?
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Chief.
Madam Mayor, Pro Tem and rest of the council, I just on behalf of the police department that you provide for us in this community, I'm speaking for all of our employees. We're really honored to do what we do every single day. We're extremely honored to stand shoulder to shoulder with the fire department and everything that they do to create this public safety entity. I think that this police facility not only is going to set the standard for the future of law enforcement agencies, but more importantly, it's going to give us a tool that we desperately need to recruit. You provided the numbers for us. We're trying to get people in. I think this is going to help retain our folks, and more importantly, it's going to help us get some people here that we really need to push forward to truly impact this community and make it safe, especially where we are regionally. So, and again, on behalf of them, I just want to say thank you so much. And when you're ready, I'm ready for the next tab.
Well, and I just want to say to you, because they're not always in the room, but and Captain Vega know that on occasions when somebody has had a moment to come up here and speak about, as if implying that something that our crime or our conditions in our community was something that warranted why we should do something else. I want you guys to know that no, I definitely know that I've asked publicly while we're sitting here, what is our crime numbers looking like? And our crime numbers are nowhere near the surrounding communities that we're seeing. And it's, things happen, but I feel that I'm safe. I feel that. I want you guys to know that. And I don't know if anybody else can say that in the community. But then, of course, you guys get so many pictures from me and so many things about me. I'm a crime fighter out there. No. Anyway, but no, I just want you guys to know that I sleep well in my community.
Now, I think it's really important for our hardworking officers.
I really do.
And also our civilian folks to see you in action, to truly see the support that you give us, every one of you. So again, on behalf of them,
You guys are great.
I'm honored to say thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Madam Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Move approval of tab 2.
Thank you so
Was
much,
that
sir.
That was his tab.
That was the one that just got him 20 more cameras, so thank you so much.
Any objections? Hearing none. Motion carries. Thank you, guys, everybody. Number 3. Is number 3 there?
Agreement for
Oh, no, that's...
Number 3 is
Did you get theirs? Maybe we got the,
Aaron, I think.
Who's number 3?
I think you gave number 2.
Huh?
Oh, that was cameras. No, number 3.
That's Aaron.
Material testing inspections. I was like, oh, this is another one. That must be somebody in Public Works.
You're welcome. Kathleen.
Bye, J-Lo. Bye, Eden.
You guys witnessed a historic moment in
Mrs.
Rialto.
Farmer.
We're actually doing that.
Apologies, Mayor, Art was swimming upstream.
Okay. I think we exceeded capacity too. Excuse me, Chief Parks. Did we happen to exceed capacity in here and you didn't speak up? No.
He's ready to start.
He's the most in here. He's sitting back there. I guess he probably said we have things.
Come on, Art, he's ready.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Art.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Mayor Pro Tem Council. The item before you is requesting to authorize a purchase order in the amount of $293,342.57 to Prescience pursuant to their on-call agreement for construction management, inspection, and materials testing services for constructability review of the I-10 Riverside Avenue Interchange Phase 2 City Project Number 140813.
Move approval, Madam Chair.
Okay, I will second it, but I do have a question.
And I have questions.
Yeah, okay. I'm very much happy to see this in front of us, but Councilmember Scott, why don't you go with your question?
Okay. I too am happy to see it, especially if you have to travel that intersection in the morning.
Or this
So,
afternoon.
give us a time frame, Art, on timing for getting from point A to point Z.
Well, right now we're trying to finish up designs. We're at 65% plans. This constructability will guide us to final plans. But our objective is to utilize the design to try to obtain funding to proceed with construction.
Okay, and can you kind of give the community, we all know what it is, but kind of a concept of what the plan is to do at the 10 Freeway and Riverside Avenue?
Yes. So the project consists of so it's okay. Let me back up. The UPR bridge crossing is a local bridge owned and maintained by the city of Rialto, and it's between Riverside Avenue, between Valley Boulevard. It's on Riverside between Valley Boulevard and Slower Avenue. Project scope includes widening the bridge over the Union Pacific tracks to match the width of the Caltrans bridge to the north. This includes the addition of a northbound through lane, extension of a left turn lane onto the westbound on-ramp, a dedicated southbound right turn lane from Riverside Avenue onto westbound Slover Avenue, and continuous sidewalk on the east side of the bridge.
Okay.
So it would provide better queuing going northbound. The through lanes will allow for better through traffic, and then we would also extend the width of the bridge to match the Caltrans existing bridge to the north.
And in your opinion, will that improve the queuing at Valley and the bridge? Valley and Riverside?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It would improve a lot of the backup that we experience on the bridge for a lot of the truck traffic trying to get onto the freeway.
Okay, great. Thank you, sir.
Well, did you have a question?
Yes. So last time when we worked on the bridge adjacent to it, which is over the freeway, you know, there was I believe it was partial closure or full closure, I don't remember. What's the approach to this one? Do you foresee it to be partial or full closure as you work through through this project under construction?
At this time during design, we're anticipating partial closure.
Okay.
We'll be installing the piles from the bridge, so from the top down. We don't anticipate a full closure at this time, and that's kind of where we are in the process.
And you'll be doing outreach to the businesses there, correct?
There'll be outreach to the surrounding area, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. I guess my questions, and to follow up on Councilmember Scott, but also about partial closures that would occur during the construction activity. But what I'm really thinking, and I heard what you said, and what I read in this was we're still looking at doing the study over on the part of the structure that comes over the railroad. That's what I was reading, and not really dealing with the queuing and problems that are down at Riverside and Valley. So that's why I wanted to ask for the clarification, because I believe the project we've gone after is to address the fact that the structure over the railroad on the south end is really, it's narrowing. So I would hope that maybe we could come back with something that's a visual that people will really understand, because you said that, and when I read it, I'm thinking, okay, great, because we talk about, it says the design was based in part on minimizing costs of the interchange project, in that widening the UPRR bridge was estimated to cost as much as more than the interchange. And so this, for me, and my colleague, Mayor Pro Tem, just asked me about even the facade out there. Would we be able to do something? I don't think that's what this is intended. But what I also said recently, and I'm hoping, and Ms. Williams is here, that we are in the process, we should be giving to SBCTA potential projects that we want to have added if they bring the measure, another subsequent Measure I. And Riverside Avenue interchange in its entirety, including the widening and adding for capacity on those ramps, need to be considered. There's queuing on the freeway. There's queuing when we go approach to get on the freeway south. And so I just want to be clear that this is not the ultimate fix, but we need to make sure that we bring Riverside Avenue interchange back as one of the projects, priority projects, should we vote to move with Measure, the second phase or third phase of Measure I. That would also give us an opportunity to really look at I'll say the facade out there. Right now, if I'm not mistaken, Mayor Pro Tem and I both probably feel that what we have, those screenings and those things, and I thank God we finally took we for a while there we had our city seal in the middle of the thing, and may still be, looked like a postage stamp. You really could, you right? Yeah. You know, and that again was when we had these, that project, as well as we know that we need to look at some improvements up on the 210, and those things have to get into the pipeline. So I just want to be clear. I don't think this is going to be the cure-all to what we have going on out there. And Art, I didn't see, there was nothing that really spoke. I thought this would be like you said, a value engineering and a relooking before we actually get to what's going to be the ultimate construction project.
So
are we right or wrong here? What are we going to be doing? Is this going to solve, it says a constructability review is a constructability review. It's not the construction project.
No, correct.
Okay, thank you.
So we're still in design. That's part of the reason why there's not an image provided at this time, because we're still in the middle of design. So for us to, we didn't want to present an image prematurely. We want to get closer to finalization so that way we could show you guys what the exact plan is. The constructability review is input. It will be continuous input on constructability on plans from 65% all the way to 100% completion.
Of what? Constructing of what, though?
Constructing of the bridge.
Just over the railroad?
Yes, because
the problem that we feed into southbound getting onto the bridge and onto ramps is not really always based on the railroad side.
Right, so that part of the bridge is Caltrans. This project only pertains to the bridge that we own, which is over the railroad.
Right. Okay, and do you understand, you know that? Because I think you're talking about the queuing as you go down
Well,
southbound.
No, I do, but I'm also talking about the queuing going northbound, which I
This is
would.
coming up over the
Up over,
bridge.
which I think should help the queuing.
That's
Well,
correct.
And that's what we, yeah, I thought when I heard you said
But
the
I
southbound,
am concerned about.
because it backs up
I
on
am
the short.
concerned about the right turns, right and left turns on Valley onto the off-ramp, because early in the morning, it really backs up.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna have to figure something out.
This is just a constructability review, right? This
Yeah,
is,
that's
correct.
This,
this is nowhere near where
right, but
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. We want to make sure we look at that and see,
No, but
because
it's
it
better
won't.
to have a conversation now than
Mm-hmm.
later.
And to begin to start planning and looking at the federal government to also provide funding for that area as well.
Yeah, and
I'll second.
yeah, I already seconded.
We have a motion and a second.
Yeah,
Okay, all third?
all right.
Okay.
No objections to the motion. Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. And again, we have one more to go, but
I can say, Mayor, as somebody that's in that northbound queue every morning, thank you.
It's a disaster.
Every single morning.
It's a-
hello there.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and members of council. For your consideration tonight,
Madam Mayor, may I ask a question of the attorney before Tim continues with this presentation?
Absolutely.
Should I recuse myself from voting on this particular I'm not against it, but should I recuse myself from voting since it's near my home, Frisbee and Bemis?
Councilmember, this is just
don't
a
think
resolution
Bemis is
to
near
accept
you.
funding.
Okay.
So it's not a construction project. However, if you feel that it causes an appearance of impropriety, by all means, you can recuse yourself. I don't think it's required in this case. When we get to the actual construction project, where we're doing a construction contract, and we can tell exactly what improvements are going in, that'll be a different question. Right now, you're just accepting money.
Move approval.
I have some questions.
I have questions too.
Okay, and I raised this earlier, I think, when speaking with you as Assistant City Manager. Did I talk to you this morning about this?
You did, Mayor.
Okay, and I'm looking at this one for Frisbee, and I'm trying to make sure that a legend is identifying the proposed things. I have expressed some concerns, and I think it still looks like this. Wait a minute. I'm very concerned that we are looking at bringing, and maybe I'm missing this, sidewalks on the, I can't tell if the sidewalks on both sides of Eucalyptus going down Walnut towards the park. And I'm trying to understand, where is there a safe route for schools to come from that park area when there is no housing down there? And I think we had a discussion about this once before with regards that it was going into an area where there potentially could have been a housing development. But until then, I didn't understand why we are spending resources for a sidewalk. Am I reading this right? If you go to your page, your Frisbee Middle School project, I need.
the attachments in there, the.
Yes, that's what I'm looking at.
Correct. So this is a conceptual drawing or design of improvements that was done in 2017. So by accepting the grant funding, we'll move forward with the actual design and the true improvements within the area. So we won't go through, I think what you're saying is there's undeveloped areas there.
Well,
Why
but
would we
see,
put-
this is the problem then when this came to us before, was it was showing that we were proposing sidewalks in an area that there is no, that is not a route, this is around the park. So if you cut pathways, there's no pathway for anybody to come around the park and want to walk on the east side of the sidewalk of Eucalyptus to come up to get to the school. So you're saying that this, what you're showing, is is not in fact what the grant is going to actually construct?
Well, correct. Once, the 100% will be what's done in the design. This is a guiding document based on studies that were done for the Rialto Safe Routes to School. So based on this input, most of these items will be constructed. To what degree and at the exact locations, because since 2017 and now, some items may have already been improved. Some hardscape and things like that.
But
So-
some things have not. There was a housing development that was being proposed, and I think it did not move forward yet. But I don't understand why there would be a need to put sidewalks on the side that going down that street. And I think that was expressed as a concern. So I would really question. Pathways to the school make sense. And I guess if there's housing, but how far it goes down, and I can't make out where the road is, that it bends around the curve, which is Easton. For some reason, this seems to taper off. I don't even see where Easton is. So just keep that in mind.
Easton's off the chart. It's
Okay.
not even in there.
Yeah.
I have a question for the
Go
same,
ahead.
same map. There's a concern for people living kind of west of Sycamore, crossing to get to Morgan Elementary School, which is on the east side. There's no crosswalk or stop sign or anything between Baseline and Walnut. So I believe there's maybe a crosswalk in front of the school. Is there, I know that the sidewalks that they're adding on there might alleviate some of that need to cross over, at the bottom. But is there any kind of vision to put like a crosswalk or like I know stop sign is a little difficult, but maybe like a crosswalk to be able to get to the other side earlier? Towards the bottom?
I can check into that and get your reply.
Morgan's in here.
Yeah, Morgan's right here.
No, but I'm saying this project, this was only doing 2 schools.
Oh, but some of the improvements are also within the Morgan area.
So, yeah, this is what we would call, in the plan calls Bemis and Frisbee. So Frisbee Elementary and Bemis, all within about a half-mile radius of these two
Okay, because
schools.
I see some improvements being done just south of Morgan,
Mhm.
and that area is kind of an area that's had a lot of questions from some of the parents that approached me over the years.
Okay.
I think it's just I think that having the sidewalks there will help them not having to cross the street to get onto the sidewalk. But, if there's maybe a crosswalk in that area, it'll just help alleviate them. Because the traffic goes really fast. I mean, from Baseline all the way to Walnut, there's only one crosswalk, and that's in front of the school.
Right.
There's something more towards the bottom, so they can cross over and have complete sidewalks.
Yeah, I'll look into it.
That's some of the feedback that I got from some of the parents.
And Tim, I guess what I'm asking is, the way this was presented, I know we have a full Safe Routes to School map all over, but I thought I read that this was focusing on 2 locations. But now if Morgan needs to be in there, then we need to, I see the school. I don't disagree. The whole state, I've got the Safe Routes to School whole concept. And there's some other schools that we haven't addressed, so I'm going to make sure we, either what we put in this report is what we're focusing on, or we come back and amend it to take into other schools that might be in the Safe Routes to School grant.
So, right, we are focusing on, with this award and this grant acceptance for Frisbee and
Bemis.
Yeah, correct, Bemis.
Yeah.
We were just here for the Terra Vista area back in September as well, which was ATP was another source of funding.
So when will Morgan be, and what steps?
I'll look at the priorities. So it's ranked, the way Safe Routes to School is ranked as high, medium, and low. We're going after all the high priorities and working our way down the list to low priorities.
Yeah. See if we can bring it in. I understand and appreciate what he's saying. It's in close proximity to where we're already doing work. But it didn't seem, it wasn't in here, and that's why I was concerned with it. Because I think you also added SBCTA funding to this.
This is correct. This is SBCTA funding for this grant cycle. It's Transportation Development Act, or TDA Act, Cycle 3.
Okay. Okay. Did we already move on it?
No, you just have a motion.
Nobody seconded it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, second it.
I'll second it.
Okay. Any objections?
None
No.
for me, thank you.
Just comments noted, please. Okay. That concludes the business order, and I think we had one item. I don't know if Ms. Alvarado was here to want to cover what's going on in Rialto before you guys go in and counsel. I don't know what you wanted to do in terms of, I think you had one item that you needed to return back to closed session, or did you want?
We do have one item
need to
of closed
address?
session I need to address, yes.
Okay, so I think you guys need to return to closed session.
And our Parks, Recreation, and Community Services Director.
I just saw, yeah. Come on in. Thank you, thank you.
Move to closed session?
No, let her give.
Oh, sorry, I'm like, I think I got Thanks for us.
I don't know if she needs to stay beyond the closed session and come back in. Okay.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and members of the council. Here is what's going on in Rialto. Tomorrow at our farmers market, Healthy Rialto and NSG will be doing a turkey giveaway. They are giving away about 400 plus turkeys to our community. On Thursday, November 16th at the Grace Vargas Senior Center, they will be having their Center Carnival Social from 2 to 5 p.m. On Friday, November 17th, here at the Civic Center parking lot, there will be a Veterans Resource Fair from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Due to the weather, our Rialto Heritage Days will be postponed. A date will be determined a little bit later. On Monday, November 20th, the Grace Vargas Senior Center Turkey Raffle will be going on from 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. On Saturday, November 25th, the Fitness Center Turkey Burn will be going on. It is a food can to register to participate. And then on Thursday, November 23rd and Friday, November 24th, the Rialto City offices will be closed for the Thanksgiving holiday. Saturday, December 2nd, Rialto's Holiday Festival and Parade will be happening from 5:30 to 9:30 p.m. here at Civic Center. Save the date for Run Around the Rocks, which will be Sunday, December 3rd. Registration starts at 7 a.m. Grinchmas Pet Pictures will be Saturday, December 9th at Frisbee Dog Park from 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. Volleyball and basketball registration opens up Monday, December 11th, starting at 7 a.m. online or in person. Our Teen Center Teen Miss Party will be Wednesday, December 20th at the Rialto Community Center in room 504 from 3 to 6 p.m. And on December 20th at Farmers Market, Healthy Rialto and NSG will be having a toy drive at the same time Farmers Market is going on. That is what's going on.
Okay, thank you very much. All right.
Also,
I just,
Madam Mayor,
before she leaves, can I just thank Cynthia for putting the times for each event? I know last time that we got him, it didn't have the time, but I've noticed at this time, all of the times of the events are on here, so thank you very much for doing that.
I just want to add, during tomorrow, also the turkey giveaway, we also will have vaccinations for COVID with the San Bernardino County Health Department will be out as well.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Are you going to have RSV vaccinations also?
I had asked that.
I think they're going to have the full, when they come out, I can let you know earlier when they come out to see what they have, but I think it's all the COVIDs.
Well, yeah, so you don't know yet?
They
Because
had
I
said-
wondered about RSV as
Yeah, they
well.
had said the COVID, so I can let each one of you know at what extent in the morning. I know you'll be in Atlanta, Mayor.
No, I'll be in the air, yeah, so it won't matter. Okay, now we can move, I guess, to, back to closed session.
Move to closed session?
And,
Second.
okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Trio and seconded by Councilmember Scott. And so we'll move back to closed session, 9:25. Thank you.
Mr. Attorney, can you report back from closed session?
I'd be happy to. We had one item left in closed session. It was a discussion of one item of existing litigation, Robertson versus the City of Rialto. The council received a briefing from the city attorney, gave direction, no other reportable action. That concludes our report. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And just let the record reflect that Mayor Robertson has left for the evening. And that brings us to reports. Anybody got anything that they need to report?
I just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving.
Councilman Trujillo?
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, and I just wanted to announce that I was appointed to the Economic Development Committee for Cal Cities through the appointment from the Inland Empire Division, so I just wanted to say congratulations to my colleagues who also got appointed from the division, but also wanted to report that I'm now on their committee this year. So
well, congratulations, Mr. Trujillo. Well deserved, and thank you for representing us.
Thank you.
Councilmember Baca, anything you would like to report? No report. All right, and I have no reports. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I got a motion by Councilmember Scott, a second by Councilman Trujillo. We are adjourned.